Painkiller Nearly, episode 310. Here we go.
So how's everybody doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Having a good day.
Good. Yeah, it's been a pretty normal day, this one. I have on my other monitor, I won't let it distract me too much, the first NHL exhibition game that they're running through, which is Philly versus Pittsburgh. Philly up 2-1 right now. Obviously. Good news. Obviously, the superior team. But like even a little bit like what you guys are talking about, Tarkov, I was watching, and it's like they're still in the beginning of period 2. They haven't played in like 5 months. Some of the mistakes they're making are outrageous for like an NHL level person. Like goalies like trying to do outlet passes, firing it directly to somebody else. It's like, damn, they really must have thought for months. Like, just think about it. The NHL was telling them, the NBA was telling them, it's probably not going to happen. We're doing everything in our power to get this season under control. Meanwhile, they're seeing states shut down. They're seeing countries shut their borders. They're going, looks like we're hitting the golf course a little earlier this year, boys. We're going to get pretty fucked up. We got an extra long off season. And I guarantee a lot of players did that, and it's going to bite them in the ass.
The NBA is the opposite. Yeah, the NBA is like, we're going to put a bubble up. We're going to do this. This is our plan. We're going to have a season again. The guys are fucking in the gym, working it. The Sixers came back, fucking murdering everybody. Now, they did lose their second game, but that doesn't count. They were ahead by like 24 points when they rested their starters in this exhibition game. Like, they're just, they're on ESPN today like, fuck, I think the Sixers are going to come out of the East. I fucking told you guys they were. Why didn't you listen to me?
Be careful, though. Exhibition games, very, very
not in this
risky.
case. In this case, it's a very reliable indicator.
Be like, man, we crushed the... this is going to belie the amount I have about basketball. We crushed the fucking we crushed Cleveland. Wait, LeBron wasn't out there? It was some guy named Nate Willoughby, a white guy from Duke on the Make-A-Wish program. Oh, okay, that might have made a little bit of a difference.
When it was starters versus starters, we crushed them. And it does make sense. You're right. They don't have LeBron because he plays for LA.
Woody, have a great money-making opportunity for you. The odds right now of the Sixers winning the championship are 20-1. So $100 pays $2,000.
Not enough.
Just do it. It'll make you watch the games with so much more intensity, or it'll make you anger watch the last 3 rounds if the Philly isn't in it.
I've rarely bet any significant amount of money. But yeah, I like him. Matisse Thybulle is just fucking. He's a rookie and he's bullying people at this point. Like I saw. So they play against the same guy on both sides in this game. Sometimes they switch up on them. Anyway, he like blocks the guy in a way that's embarrassing. NBA has so much like clout, you know, like if you miss a shot, you just miss a shot, right? Like if you block my shot, I don't care. But no, he blocked it really hard, and now that guy's nothing. And it's like, what? Okay, a block is a block, but all right. So he blocks the guy's shot, then he goes down on the other side and he like dunks on him, and then he steals the ball from that same guy again. And there was this sequence where it was like, Matisse, fuck, it's like at this point it's getting unkind. You're just like bullying the guys on the other team, and he's a rookie. It's a very good time to be a Sixers fan.
Well, it's not such a great time to be a Marlins fan. They've got the COVID, big time, a huge outbreak, and so do the Phillies. So the Braves are looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Dude. Like 2/5 of the fucking division has COVID so bad they can't play their fucking games. So it's just us, the Mets, and the Nats.
The Braves are the lock.
Let me do this. So I've been watching. And so the Florida Marlins, obviously Florida is like the global epicenter of COVID right now. And they're like, the Florida Marlins have more positive COVID cases than New Zealand, Iceland, Australia. And it's just like, oh my gosh. Like, yeah. No, obviously this last... they tested 100% of the Marlins, but yeah, I have to believe there's a couple COVID cases somewhere in Iceland that are going unreported.
I don't know if you've ever played the game Plague, where you try and infect the world. If they start discovering cures before you infect someone in Iceland, you're screwed. Iceland very, very good at keeping themselves, at least in this game,
populated.
Game. Yeah.
And New Zealand's having like fucking rugby matches now. Like they're cured. They're done.
Yeah, 60 people live there though.
I think it's more like 3.5 or 4 million, but okay.
I don't know. I think half of them are in our patron chat.
Dude, the patron chat went off. So we used to have room for 12 people, 3 of them being hosts. And then that got busy enough after I berated that one guy that we had to do 2 2-hour sessions. Now we have room for 25 people, and now we have to do 2 sessions of 25.
We may have to do 3 sessions of 25 next time.
It's like a real.
I think some people. I'm worried. I told them to let me know if they got left out. I was told people got left out, but nobody who got left out messaged me.
No one said it on my stream either. So that's a positive sign.
It may be one of those things where like I don't know. So if somebody got left out, we'll figure something out. But we're not gonna let that happen next month. We'll figure something out one way or another.
I think.
But yeah, super. 25 fucking boxes in front of you with all the faces was hilarious. It was great. I'm just looking around and like somebody's mic will go fucking ape shit. And I'm like, which one is it? Oh my God, this used to be so much easier trying to mute or lower the volume on the one person.
That happened one time and wait until the end. And I snapped the fuck on somebody. And Kyle, you misidentified who it was. And I'm like, no, it's Iceland. It's him. And then I realized I was on mute. And I'm like, that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
That's probably for the best. Let's not I just got a free pass on this.
That's the other great thing. If you want to become a $50 patron and join our monthly chat, I don't think we've had one where Woody doesn't verbally assault someone. And I chose those words carefully. Verbally assault them.
Some people have bad audio.
Some guy this last one said something to Woody like, he was kidding around. He was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And Woody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was just like, ooh, oh no. We're about to have room for one more in here, boys. All right, Clint Eastwood, calm down. I think he was kidding with you.
After I verbally berated the first person ever, we had all these new signups. And a guy's like, I feel like I won't get my money's worth if Woody doesn't yell at me.
Come for the conversation, stay for the experience.
You'll get a fucking show if you show up in there. We've got a guy in there. It's big shout out to Pastor Anal Assassin, one of the 2 homosexuals we had in our group over the weekend, and it became quickly apparent that he was gay when out of nowhere he pulled a dildo that was within arm's reach into camera frame and gave it a jiggle, which was fucking hilarious. That's a cool guy. I like him. I like Pastor Anal Assassin.
As you say this, I'm showing off my F pass. So I haven't had the hood pass for some time.
Pastor Anal Assassin gave Woody a faggot pass, and it's a picture of him, the Anal Assassin, holding up a dildo, and
I'll read it.
Script. Yeah,
As
please.
a faggot myself, I, Pastor Anal Assassin, hereby give Woody's Gamertag the permission to use faggot as much as he fucking wants. So
yes,
and he has copied that and sent it to Kyle and I, who have
and his entire extended family.
All of them.
Mixed reviews. Mixed reviews.
No, just if it was very satisfied or satisfied in the reviews.
Yeah. 4 stars or 5 stars. We had an attractive young lady from Australia that had a cool fucking accent. Always like that. It was a good fucking show. There was a lot of people that I had only spoken to in the Discord, the patron Discord, which you also get access to, obviously. And it was cool to put faces to names.
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice when you put faces to names and they're like normal looking human beings. Like, you ever have an online friend that you've been like chatting with for like months, maybe even years, and you finally see him and you're like, oh shit.
Just an absolute goblin of a person.
Oh shit, I can't let my kids see you. They'll cry. Oh no.
That happens.
What happened to your online friend that was coming in town? He died. I'm not going.
It happens in YouTube gaming, right? I'll see a guy who's an absolute superhero in game. He's jumping off roofs. He's one-tapping people in the head. He's the most amazing thing in the world. And watch the videos for years or whatever. And in my head, and then back in the early days, they didn't even commentate. So you didn't even have any clue what their voice or personality might be like. But based on how good they were at games, I was like, man,
Chad.
I mean, I can only assume he's quarterback of the high school football team.
Yeah.
Probably fucks the prom queen. I mean, obviously, look how good he
This
is at
guy's
Call
not
of Duty.
getting crammed into a locker.
No, he won't fit.
And then you meet him,
find out later,
and it's like, oh, all right, yeah.
Like, Only Use Me Blade was the one where, like, I never thought this, but so many people thought he was black because of his voice, which I don't even understand. That
He doesn't sound black.
You're ear-tarded if you think that that's a black person voice. Like,
You know what it is? In my opinion, it doesn't have a black person voice. I don't hear that. But I do hear a chill out of him that I sometimes hear in black people also. Like there's a vibe.
Yeah, he's very laid back. Some would say a bit too laid back. And you know,
he's on
to
downers.
install stereo equipment in people's houses or whatever. And it's you know, maybe you could get and he stabs people. You know, maybe you just get that vibe from him that he's a black man.
You know, yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't put that together when you.
Yeah,
Now
that's why I kept going. Yeah.
Moment
Yeah.
to click. Yeah.
I was like, Woody's refusing to laugh at this. I won't stop till he does.
Wasn't a refusal.
I'll pull up crime statistics if I have to.
No,
Whoa!
you know what?
Well,
where I was in my head during. I would have guessed based on his gameplay, where he runs constantly, that Only Use Me Blade was also very athletic because. I don't know. I know it doesn't make sense, but
Not at all.
Not at all. Look. I know on an intellectual level that doesn't make sense, but if I'm using his avatar and that's all I know about him, it's like, fuck, this guy runs all the time.
The picture
You
of a
were
Call of
applying-
Duty 4 guy, screenshot, holding the knife, running. I think he's had the same avatar for 10 years.
No.
You were applying the Wings of Redemption formula
Go on.
because he always sits in one place and camps, and
Jesus, I see where this
and he's a
is
large
going.
man, and you thought the player who's just constantly moving, sprinting
He's going to
everywhere.
be built
was
like Usain Bolt.
That's Usain Bolt. He's just sprinting around, stabbing people.
Wow, Wings of Redemption. Maybe he's like a ambulance helicopter pilot, saving people, flying around and redeeming lives. It's like everybody.
Oh, the wings of I got you.
We're all like ships in the night today. Just can't.
Yeah, it's a lot of joke explaining going on in PKN.
It is. And that's when you can tell it's a good joke, is when it takes 3 sentences afterward to be like, no, you're wrong.
That was funny.
That was so funny.
Actually, I do like a lot of them after explained, which is rare, but this time it's working for me. In any case,
Yeah. We saw the guys in the hangout, and when I put faces to names, I was pleasantly surprised. They were regular looking, handsome, successful young men and woman, and I had a good old time.
that guy
sign up.
banned Resin or something. He came in my Twitch chat and started begging to be unbanned. I didn't really I sort of forgotten him. Like I didn't remember who he was, and. He's like, Woody, you gotta unban me, please, Woody, please unban me, you know. And then he said that he'll be good, and I was like, oh, right, you were the guy who talked shit about my wife, so I banned him on Twitch.
That'll do it.
You know, he rolled the dice. You gotta respect him there. You know, he took the shot, missed.
Yeah.
You know, ended up being a net negative. But yeah. Man, I'm so excited for sports to be back. It's just something to just soak up some more time. It's so great. It's gonna be great. I'm hoping that some of the players, the more interesting ones, do a little bit of like streaming activities or something of what they're doing in their bubbles. Especially if they do stuff that's like against the rules, which doesn't seem very likely. But that would be neat.
First of all, I dispute the very premise of your last statement. Sports are not back. They have not come back. They're trying to come back, and they will
Fair
fail.
enough.
They will fail, and I will laugh because they're silly.
Let me
But what about the Braves? What if the Nats get sick?
I hope
Suddenly
the entire
you're in
Braves
game.
roster gets the COVID so bad that it damages their lungs and they can no longer play professional sports, and it bankrupts the entire franchise.
So wait, I got a story.
Hey, that's
I
awful.
forget the guy's name, but there's an NBA player who was
And that's my team.
video surfaced of this NBA guy out clubbing at night, right? So there's like it's people all over the place dancing, lights blinking, disco, whatever. And he's like, no, that's an old video. I definitely wasn't out partying when I'm not supposed to leave the bubble. And they're like, but you're wearing the mask we all got when we checked into Orlando.
Yeah.
He's got
not like you
I don't
like
know.
hear it.
It's kind of like Mickey
You hear
Mouse
it over
Disney
the
World.
loudspeaker. How's everybody liking the July 25th rave? Every July 25th, if you say it's a different date, you're a liar.
Everyone open up your newspapers from today. Yeah.
Welcome to the newspaper raid.
Well, at least he was wearing his mask, so that's good, I guess. But it's also
Wearing
how he
his
got
mask.
caught.
Yeah, I mean, wearing a mask at a rave, that's absurd.
I
Something
love
like
that because
yeah.
there are so many drugs that you could apply to the mask, and it would you'd be right on board with the whole vibe of the thing. Where's ether when you need it? I say we bring ether back. They should be dousing those things with a little bit of ether, getting everybody all loopy out there. That'd be great.
Maybe. You know what? Now I'm on board.
Yeah.
Now we're having more fun.
Let's have an ether rave.
Just the thought of imagining someone who's like, yeah, we're going to a rave. There's going to be 10,000 people there. It's going to be huge. It's like, no, but we shoulder to shoulder, definitely. Doing drugs together, absolutely. Oh no, we got our masks. See, I got a Sacramento Kings bandana that I'll wear under my nose.
As long as you're taking like ecstasy or whatever, though, I feel like that's a lot. Like if you're passing a pipe around or a joint or something, like just lose the fucking mask. Like, what's the point at this? It doesn't matter. But if you're just taking some pills, or if you're doing like a one at a timer kind of drug, like if you're doing coke, that seems fairly safe.
Oh, it wouldn't be the drugs passing it back and forth in an environment like that. It would just be like being packed together enough. Like
I don't know, man. I don't like the idea of sharing a fucking joint with like 8 fucking strangers during this thing. Like I've definitely like done
That's
that. True. Like before there was a fucking virus that was killing all the old people, but I wouldn't do that now.
Making space in old folks' homes, maybe.
So I looked it up. The guy's name is Lou Williams. He plays.
Are you looking for the bright side of the virus over there?
He plays for the LA Clippers, and he's being investigated right now. Like I said, he wore the mask they gave out in the check-in to the Orlando bubble, and
he did not think that through.
No, he didn't.
He didn't even think his lie through.
But I also like it. He's like, dude, I was not out. Ask any of my teammates where I was. And it's like, oh, fuck you. Like, so you got your friends to lie for you.
The truth.
Yeah. That's
like it's like because they're all going to cover for him.
Yes.
NBA starting players honor.
Yeah.
What?
Once you're in for life. We're your new family.
Yeah. Well, and what the fuck is Scouts honor anyway? There's no way I'm trusting a fucking Boy Scout either. Like, why are they supposed to be so fucking honest? You know, what's that whole thing about Scouts honor? What the fuck does that mean?
I've never really thought about that at all. But you're right. Do they don't enter into like a brotherhood or a code?
Yeah.
No,
don't you become an Eagle Scout when you're like 15?
There's plenty of things with pledges, and I don't trust any of those motherfuckers. The cops take a fucking pledge.
A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. I remember we had to memorize that to be a tenderfoot or whatever the fuck it was.
You know, that's actually a pretty good oath. It's just like, we're going to be chill and nice and pick up bottles outside when we see it. It's like the least serious, most topical, friendly, and a good member of society kind of oath. That's good for little kids.
That reverent part, though, has a vaguely religious connotation to it.
Oh, yeah. It's explained on their site as be reverent toward God, be faithful in your religious duties, respect the beliefs of others.
No thanks.
Yeah, this is...
Well, the last bit, you have me.
Hard no on that one.
It's an old oath. They haven't updated it, but it's...
Fellow white campers, time for...
Did you see that guy who went to... I'm spacing out on what town it was. It was a Reddit video. It was on tons of subreddits. He went to like this place that's like the home of the KKK or something. Like there's a billboard there that says alt-right radio, like white power radio or something like that. And he's got his Black Lives Matter sign like on the side of the road. And he just, I guess he's wearing a body camera because he's recording the reactions of everyone who drives past. And it's the most hateful shit you've ever seen. You want to see it?
Does he get attacked?
It's funny.
I want to see it. There's a town where their just cultural identity revolves around racism?
And the Klan, yes.
What the fuck? I would have guessed that wasn't true.
Where would it... Maybe... It wasn't Public Freakout. It was maybe Trashy. Maybe R trashy.
You're just going to all your favorite watering holes here.
Oh, I love trashy. I'll see some porn on R trashy sometimes, and I'm like, that wasn't so bad. I've done that.
Yeah, sometimes I look at trashy boners, and I'm like, that's just regular boners to me. I mean, maybe that says something about me.
Yeah.
Like, look at this hot chick in a bikini dancing. Yeah, look at her.
It's really just a whole subreddit developed to kink shaming, if you think about it.
Wow. Maybe you're onto something there.
Yeah.
Although I did see one where this guy is plowing his girlfriend just outside their van, basically in a highway.
Wait, now I want you to find that video instead of
I got that one on my phone. I can text that to you if you really want it.
This one was good, but that one's really piquing my interest.
Well, she's fucking like huge titties.
That one's on my phone. Did you record this video, Kyle?
You can download. I download them as MP4. If I find something interesting, and then I share them throughout the day with people.
I see. Now the joke was that
bring a little. Oh, that I recorded the video myself. Yeah. Yes, I see. No public nudity for me. I'm registered on enough.
The more joke explaining, the better, Kyle.
That's right.
Are we ready?
Break it down a little more. Yeah.
Ready, set.
One sec. Mine messed up. It didn't open.
Jesus Christ.
WhitePrideRadio.com, AltRightTV.com. I didn't know alt-right and white pride were so like linked out in the open. I thought it was like an accusation you made against
like a dog whistle.
Kind of, but like I guess they say, hey, not everyone who's a Republican, not everyone who's a Trump supporter is racist, but everyone who's a Trump supporter has decided it's not a deal breaker. That's a thing that people say. And it's
lots of people saying it.
Lots of people saying that. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's this like alt-right is just people far to the right, not necessarily people who are racist, although low-key, there's a lot of overlap there.
I'm just glad we live in a world where it's offensive for me to have any pride whatsoever in my background.
Me too.
Well, thank God for that. We don't need that.
No, we don't. We don't need that.
No, we do not. We don't need it.
Everyone else, though, they can. Just us.
Kyle, careful. You're starting to notice patterns, and it's troubling.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to notice the patterns. I deleted all the statistics.
The most important thing here is that they're getting a brand new McDonald's off of Main Street.
Now, that is a boon for
Wait, what are we talking about?
No, we're talking about the background behind the background.
Oh,
behind
I didn't notice.
The whitePrideRadio.com
new
thing. There's a little bit of uplifting news.
Yeah,
are we ready? It's 45 seconds. Ready, set, play. All right, a white man held up a Black Lives Matter sign in a town that hosts the national headquarters of the Ku Klux Klan. Here's some of the reactions.
Explain to me why Ku Klux Klan. Have a little pride in your race, brother. What pride? You're a white boy carrying that stupid sign.
This right here is the biggest hoax there ever was.
It's just the next thing to ask.
It is.
Now, let me introduce you to the people from my Facebook feed.
So that's the short, that's the condensed version. Those are like the most inflammatory remarks, but he was out there all day. So there's probably 5 times as many reactions in the Reddit video I saw. And just all sorts of crazy shit. Just all sorts of crazy shit like that. But yeah, make sure neither one of you have any pride whatsoever about your background, whether ethnic, racial.
I got you, fam.
Have no pride in your family either, because they're probably white too.
Privilege mine.
Guilty as charged, man. Guilty. No pride.
None.
Yeah, none whatsoever. So yeah, I like how you could see all of the cornerstones of a struggling small town that's been like cored out over the decades, where it's like, I'm going to go to the Route 66 parking lot. All right, well, that quadrant of town has been filmed. Let's go to the Walmart half of the city and stand and like you could like almost see the tiny little town as like, cause driving across at least the Midwest, the South, you see those little podunk places every time where it's like a 2-light town. And like it's a Walmart that clearly has eaten up every little bit of mom and pop opportunity, and then a couple of corporate chains, and then a brand new McDonald's. Yes,
The ones that I stop in are the ones where clearly, like, the main economic driver of this town is the exit and the blue sign that mentions a couple restaurants. And that's it. All this town has to offer is like fuel, a McDonald's, a Wendy's, a Chick-fil-A, and some more. And then you try to look much past that and there's nothing. It's just a town that revolves around the first 2 miles from the exit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from one of those towns.
Yeah.
Really? You seem a little far off the exit. Maybe.
No, we're right there on I-85. Goes right through Livonia.
Really? I want to take that one now. I think I go near there.
Yeah, you're one exit away.
Farther or not as far?
North. You need to come down south like an exit or two.
Oh, I stop right before I get there.
Yeah, you get off probably at the one that's got that. You're coming from north, so you get off and then make a left, and there's like one gas station maybe. It takes you to Hartwell, right?
Could be. I'm not 100.
Do you go through the country to get through to Hartwell?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's that area that you drive through is where whenever I talk about like smashing mailboxes or getting up to all sorts of hijinks, that's where it happened.
Little piece of Kyle history.
Yeah, that's where I spent my formative years.
They weren't really long mailbox smashing trips then. It was like, all right, the Johnsons, the Stevensons, and the Thompsons have not yet replaced their mailbox. So it's the Joneses' night. And it's just going over there.
We would go so fucking hard in the paint on those mailboxes. That was all there was to do. Like, you got to keep in mind, my town doesn't have a Walmart. It's so small. There was nothing to do. McDonald's was all that was open when, we were up all night. Just like goofing around, and we had nothing to do. There was nothing to do. It's 45 minutes to a movie theater. It's 45 minutes to a mall. There's nothing to fucking do. So we go smash fucking mailboxes, and we go fill the truck floorboards up with those big rocks that they have around the lake loading ramps, and we would fucking cream mailboxes all night. So much fun.
Just be driving and then just heave an enormous rock.
I got so good at it, dude. I got so good at it. Obviously I'm the driver, so I have to do it with my left hand, but Scott's in the passenger side and he's throwing them for the right. And the whole floorboard is full of them. And they're big as fuck, like bigger than your head. Your head, well, maybe not yours, but my head. And I got so good, I could just time it just right. I drive about 50 miles per hour and just heave it into the path of the mailbox, and now the rock's going 50 miles per hour, hitting a mailbox. That's so much energy being dispersed onto
it. Must have exploded.
They do explode. The wooden ones blow up into splinters. The metal ones like dent and fold in half and blow off the posts. I'd do it now if I could.
Dude, homeowner me absolutely hates that because I can't imagine how annoyed and how much it would just ruin my day if I woke up and I had to deal with just an obliterated mailbox. It'd be like, well, I had stuff to do, but it's a weekday, so it looks like I'm buying and installing a mailbox. Looks like everything on my life is on the back.
So you don't live in a subdivision, right? Like, do you have a homeowners association?
No, I do. Yeah.
You do? Okay, yeah. So our mailbox aged, right? We bought the house. It was whatever. And over the time that we lived there, the mailbox got too old and we had to replace it. So you go to Home Depot and you buy a mailbox that looks almost just like the one you had. And I even took the brass straps off the old one and tried to because the new one was the same color and the same size and seemingly conforming, but it didn't have the brass straps over the top. So I took those and I put them on the new one, but it didn't have the stamped metal that sort of outlines where the brass strap would have gone. And the homeowners association is like, nope, that's not the right mailbox. It doesn't have the little ridges near the brass straps that the other people do. And it's like, oh, really? I got the closest one they had. And they're like, that's because you didn't go to proprietary independent mailbox creator in town here. The price went from $16 to $350. Although you might say $366 because I bought the other one first.
Yeah.
And that was the first mailbox Woody ever stole.
And it was the difference is so big.
See, they don't have it in ours where it's I have to buy a specific one, but they just have rules. And so it's if you want one of those big brick ones, you can build that. If you want certain types of those metal wrought ones, you can have that. There's one way on the other side of my neighborhood that I drive by, and I thought it was like a goof at first, like, oh, like it's a tree on the front of their yard, and it's got a hanging branch where a mailbox should be. Hanging from up one of those branches are chains suspending a hammock style a mailbox.
Oh, cool.
Elevated off the ground. And I'm like, this is absurd. This looks awful. How has no one stepped up and been like, hey, you can't have this weird gallows hammock there?
And like Gandalf, I love the mailbox, but it really doesn't conform to what we got going on around here.
But what I do like is that imagining the poor mail lady trying to open it and it's like she's swinging towards her, and she tries to close it and just it's swinging away. But yeah, I hope they fix that soon. It's just a joke.
Hey, awful. I know how you could get it fixed. You head on over there and take care of business.
Head on over to a local river, find a rock.
Well, I mean, we had bats too, just in case we found a trouble mailbox, or maybe it was in an area where you couldn't get up to speed. And then sometimes we'd take prisoners.
They're just going to do it again. What you need is a saw to take out the branch.
I've done that before too.
Sometimes an old tree.
Dude, that like I'll tell that next time I see Scott, I'm sure we'll joke around and laugh about that time that guy, we'd smashed his mailbox like, I don't know, 5 fucking times, and he'd stop replacing it, so he'd just like bend it back out from flattened. and like it was like, imagine taking a soda can and crushing it, and then to the best of your ability stretching it back out, and then crushing it again, and then stretching it back out again, and by the end it's just this crumpled mess.
You know, like a stick you're sticking in there, like trying to pop out.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, he stuck a stick in there and like moved it around and like wedged it back out so that it's a vessel. There's not a mailbox anymore. The door surely wasn't in working order. And we saw that and we were like, all right, well, we'll just fucking take it then. So we just took it, post and all, and just pulled the post out of the ground, took it with us.
Post?
Yeah, we took the post. And and so the next time we came by there, because it was on this back road where like nobody's there. He's the only driveway. You could just stop next to his mailbox and like have your way with whatever was there, because he's I don't want to exaggerate, between half a mile and 3/4 of a mile away is where he lives from his mailbox. And we came back and he had an armored mailbox. He had a 4x4 post, which is like a big post. They're heavy too, driven deeply into the ground, and on top the mailbox was 1/4-inch steel, and it had the ability to apply like a master lock padlock to the end if you wanted to, and it was bolted on with these lag bolts that came in from all 4 sides. It was made to fit onto the 4x4, not like flat on flat, but it was like hollow, so it would like go around the 4x4, and then the bolts could come in from all 4 sides, and he had 2, 4, 6, 8 lag bolts, 3-inch lag bolts from every side. And we were like, we got out like, this is the final boss, boys. We've reached the pinnacle of mailbox smashing. The question is, are we going to back down, or are we going to step our game up? And so we stepped our game up. We went back to we pulled the whole fucking thing out of the ground with great effort. It took both of us to lift. Threw it in the back of the truck, took it prisoner for a while, and then we went to work on it back at the shop with a reciprocating saw. No, I think we used a table saw because the reciprocating saw was just not getting the job done, and an oxyacetylene torch. And so I cut the mailbox itself into maybe 20 pieces, all about half the size of a dollar bill. And then Scott took the saw and he cut the post into like 8-inch long chunks, you know, like just for spite. And then we took it all back to where we found it and like dumped it all out on the ground. And we just laughed all night about what he was going to think when he discovered that, because obviously he would have no idea that we took it somewhere else and did all that work. He would think that there were guys at the end of his driveway for an hour or something with an oxyacetylene torch and a power saw. And just I love the idea of that boggling his mind as to who is doing this, why are they doing it, And how? Like, it was like a UFO sighting.
Old man Johnson up there, he's taking care of his sick wife. Couldn't even catch us if he wanted to. They just take you down there, cutting it into pieces. Oh man, he must have given him so much needless stress a couple times.
Probably
seems mean though.
It is mean. It is mean.
That's a lot of dedication.
I had a small personal grudge against the guy. It wasn't a completely random.
Well, I hope
he had. It's we had this. So when you hunt doves, you have a field that's sort of set up to hunt the doves. You've been feeding the doves in that location for a while. There's ways to get around the baiting laws. You usually plant like sunflower seeds or something like that, and then you mow them down so that it technically falls under like agricultural shit. And so if you were to pour out a bag of birdseed, you're baiting. But if you just plant sunflower seeds and you mow them all down, you're farming. Yeah. And so we'd been working on this for a while with a few of our friends, and opening day of dove season comes around, and this motherfucker is in the adjoining property, like cutting off our birds from getting into our field and just kind of taking advantage of all of our hard work and shooting our birds. So that was the first and last straw for us with him.
That's what you get. You have to buy 4 new mailboxes.
More.
You gotta spend a week blueprinting a new one from scratch, only to have it ruined immediately.
I was a little afraid to go back after we did the armored mailbox, because I was like, his next step may involve explosives and or booby traps.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I were that man, I would have moved on to booby traps.
Yeah, or he might be living out there in the bushes with a shotgun or something, waiting on us. You know, like we should probably stop here. Then
you get close to the final mailbox, and you notice there's a little patch of sunflower seeds growing nearby. And he comes out of the woods. What are you doing to my seeds, boy? And he just blows your fucking head off. Officer, I was hunting. Look in his hand. Look at this discarded shells surrounding their bodies.
Then there's the other guy, and when he had gotten his mailbox, like it just happened to be like right in our path that we took every night, so it was always easy to get. And he eventually gave up on having a mailbox, and he had the post with the board on top that normally a mailbox is screwed onto, and he just put a big fat rubber band around that post, so the mailman would come by and lift the rubber band and slide the mail under it, and then release the rubber band, so it was just holding mail onto a board. So we pulled up and just snipped the rubber band, you know, just spiteful, evil shit, you know.
Just so unpleasant. Just so annoying.
Just so awful. Just so awful.
And how old were you? You said like mid-teen.
And then one of the more spiteful things we did, we crushed this guy's mailbox until he gave up on having a mailbox. He was just like, all right, I assume, I don't know, but I assume he got a P.O. box. Yeah. You know, he just gave up on receiving mail at the end of his driveway. And so we went and stole someone else's mailbox, post and all, and put it in his yard. We put it in his yard, and then we waited a while, and we'd drive by during the day and see if there was mail in it. And finally we saw there was mail in it, that he was using it again, and we destroyed it.
So that was a 2 birds, 1 stone situation, literally. Yeah.
How old was I?
Yeah, like 16 if you're driving, probably.
31.
It's very recent. Very recent.
Yeah, I don't know. We probably started when I was around 16, but we did it for a few years.
Yeah, you must have been bored as shit.
We took 2 months off last year, but we're back at it again.
I do it now. It's so much fun. It's shitty. I get that. It's private property damage for like goofs, but it's really fun to like try to hit them. There's like a sporting aspect to it. We keep score, you know.
I thought that like fucking with mailboxes somehow was like the post office gets mad too. Or is that only some places?
Why would they care?
I don't know, but like the post office police apparently are far more badass than people give them credit for, and
they have a postmaster general. I learned in Seinfeld. I don't know what he does.
I'm a general, and a general, by God, does his job.
That's such a good scene. So I think it's Wilford Brimley playing
Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, damn the stupid.
Before he got the diabetes.
Yeah, that was the fact that made me forget what Pythagorean's theorem was used for. right? B squared is somehow helpful for something.
Yes.
Triangle, circumference. I don't remember.
The length of a hypotenuse.
It is the length of a hypotenuse.
Well, who played the Postmaster General in Seinfeld?
I had no idea. Yeah, we all make our choices.
Was it a squared plus b squared equals c squared?
Yeah.
Also, if you want to get real good at pool and pull out your fucking tape measure like a dweeb, it helps there.
Oh, that doesn't seem like it should be allowed.
It's not allowed. It'd be ridiculous if you pulled out a fucking tape measure in pool.
You got a sextant and everything else. You're just trying to figure out. I only fire the ball true north.
I think it's only for right angle
Terrible
triangles.
tactic.
A lot, but your bank. I didn't think it was just right angle triangles. I thought it was triangles in general.
There's no way we'll know.
Nope.
It's possible.
That's why I am not Googling. Who could possibly care?
Algebra has been a long time for me, but an infinitely longer time for Woody. So I trust neither of our thoughts on this. It's hard to say.
Dude, if I was ever like kidnapped or something, and they're like, you have to finish this worksheet of 11th grade math. You have to kill me. There's no way I remember enough to be able to do even like high school level math at this point, unless it's like easy ass like balancing the equation algebra. But like anything more than that, no, I don't.
Yeah, if it's basic algebra, I can do that. I'm sure because that was just simple. But like anything complex, there's no fucking way. I'm not going to remember most of like 90% of those geometry equations are lost to me as well. Like,
yeah.
What is the one for doing the graphing thing? Y plus mx equals b.
Oh, is that
right?
Yeah.
The slope. Yeah.
Yeah, I would need to brush up on a lot of the formulas. Anything that just uses the rules of algebra, I think I'd be okay with. I don't know, somewhere in between.
Yeah, that shit just doesn't come up in daily life.
It does not, but I did it after high school. I had 13 more years of it, so it took me a little longer to get out of the rhythm of it.
Yeah. So you and I took our most recent math class at around the same time.
Fair enough. I know a girl who's doing some math, and she was showing me how she takes her online tests, and she's got like note card, like they watch you take the test, but it's over Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think they can see your screen. So she's got note cards taped to the bottom of her PC monitor with all the fucking formulas and all. It's like 2020 cheating is completely different than 2003 cheating.
Oh yeah, we took risks. You know?
I had that shit on my palm.
Yeah. Then you get nervous. You start sweating. Oof. You don't want that ink runs.
I suspect there's a lot of cheating going on last term and next term.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd kind of be silly not to do it, right? Like if you're going into some job where you shouldn't be cheating, where like you're taking some surgeon's exam online and you've got like, where's the heart? Oh, there it is. Like that kind of stuff.
Sure. Where's the heart? The precious heart.
Is it these two spongy ones? No. No, it's the red one. It's the red one.
This guy's got two hearts. And they're huge.
He seems to get bigger every time he breathes. Yeah, I don't want that. But if you're like an accountant or you're someone who's going to be working at a desk all day and all this stuff is going to be available to you in the moment, why not?
You're going to have Google when you grow up.
Exactly. Well, do you remember that excuse? I feel like I must be the last era of people old enough that they were still telling me like high school, like, you think the internet's going to be everywhere forever? No. Like you're not going to always have your calculator. Remember that one? You're not going to always have a calculator around.
Yes.
It's like, yeah,
were there not cell phones and stuff all over the place with you in high school? Were they still not a thing?
They were, but it wasn't as.
What year did you graduate
not
high
as big
school?
as it was
That's
now.
not private.
09.
Oh, yeah. 4 for me.
Okay. Yeah. So phones were definitely, especially 09, right? Was it 04
By that
to
point,
09 kind of when the last holdouts started getting them all the time?
Yeah. But it was like the teachers didn't get that though. You know, like the teachers hadn't jumped over to the iPhone 1 or whatever it was then. They were on the flip phone, the nonsense. Like, do you remember how shitty flip phone internet was? I remember getting a flip phone in like 2005 or 6 that said it had internet, and it was useless.
I had that fucking Nokia fucking brick, dude. I remember.
Yeah, the era that Taylor's talking about, you'd have to write special websites to work on phones. I think it was called WML or something. There was a different markup language. It wasn't even HTML. And you'd just format it to work well on phones. And then the iPhone comes along and it's like, wait, regular websites look right on this? Like, it was mind-blowing.
By the way, my phone isn't filthy. The yellow stuff is what happens when you sterilize your phone with fucking alcohol. Or the phone cover anyway. You know, we have like a plastic phone cover on there. And it's got all yellow from the alcohol that I used to clean it every time I get home.
My phone is filthy. This is a clear case. Oh man, I thought yesterday that I was like coming down with the Rona because like a couple days previously.
I thought I was about a week ago.
Really?
What symptoms did you have?
So it was like a couple days ago. My girlfriend started feeling bad, and I was still feeling hunky dory. And I was like, "This is probably on the horizon." And her complaining was like restricted breath and just feeling like that general weakness. And then yesterday is when I started feeling like just kind of just like didn't feel like I didn't even work out. It felt like I couldn't get my breath all the way, and just felt like I slept a ton, or at least I felt like I did. And it was just like that, like mono feeling. I still have a bit of it today, but I'm hoping I'll be good to go by tomorrow. Like apparently that's like a pretty
you traveled.
Normal run.
You were on a plane,
yeah.
You know?
And as I was sitting on the plane, it's like, dude, there is no way I'm not breathing the air from everybody else in my.
You're wearing a mask though, right?
Yeah, I'm wearing a mask. Everybody has to wear a mask, but it's. They're recirculating the air. It's going to find its way, and you're breathing constantly.
Nah.
So, well, I don't know. It doesn't really matter where you catch it once you do.
Okay, Trump.
We'll see.
I had a really bad sore throat, and
I didn't have
and it's one of those like I never know when I first get a sore throat if it's the beginning of an illness or if I just like slept with my mouth open, like I snored through my mouth or something like that, and just got sore while I slept. So I was like, it'll be fine tomorrow. And I woke up the next day and it was worse. And the next day it still hadn't gone away. And I was like, fuck, I hope I don't have this shit. And the fourth day it went away. So
yeah, that's what I'm hoping for tomorrow. I'm hoping to be back to 100% because like if I would have experienced this, like these little feelings without the COVID thing going on, I've been like, oh man, this is like a minor flu of the very, very, it feels like mono if mono lasted a very short amount of time.
I never had mono.
I had what you had back in February. And there's a lot of similarities between those symptoms and COVID. It might be COVID, but February it wasn't very popular. Like it wasn't popular. It wasn't happening much. It was maybe a little bit overseas, but in America, it just really hadn't spread yet. So I might not have had it. Plus, I feel like I get something around then. February, North Carolina is about when spring starts. Yeah. And, every year, like it's maybe allergies, maybe flu, like that changing of the seasons is a little rough on me. After I got better at extended period where I still wasn't breathing all that well and I'd cough too much, but, I seem to get that every year also. That's why I'm the only one here with the cough button. I'm the guy that coughs every February for 6 weeks.
Do you ever take allergy medication?
I have taken it. And, sometimes it just doesn't seem to do anything for me.
What do you take? Do you know?
I've tried a few different ones, and that's one of the scary parts. There was one allergy med that made me insane to be around. Like, I just got way stressed out over small things. It was a while ago. We lived in Apex, and I'm making like WoodysGamertag money off the channel booming and stuff, and the Visa bill was maybe $300 higher than we expected, and I'm like, what the heck? What is going on here? Are we going to have bills like this every month? What? And
maybe.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, right? It wasn't rational. It wasn't a rational complaint. I was too off the handle. And I don't want to take that one, whatever it was.
I like Claritin. Benadryl is nonsense. That's for doping your dogs up. And but those Claritin, the ones that dissolve in your mouth, are really effective. I've grown out of most of my allergies. But when I was like a teenager in my early 20s, like spring was a time of year that I just couldn't go outside. Like it would be so bad. People would stop and be like, "The fuck is wrong with you?
Like
What's
you look
wrong
pale.
with you?" Like my eyes would be so bloodshot and just pouring tears. And if I touched them, they would just get like infinitely more itchy. Like I would just have to like dab my crying eyes all day. And I would start sneezing, and I would sneeze like 10, 12 times in a row until like my nose was raw.
Mhm.
It was awful, like snot pouring down my face, my eyes running, and it's just pollen. It was so bad.
I've never had to deal with allergies that bad. I have noticed though, I don't even know if it's possible or if it's like psychosomatic, but I'm pretty sure I'm becoming allergic to cats because I never used to get burning or anything being in people's apartments or houses with cats, and then only in the last couple of years I'll be like, man, what the fuck is? Oh, they have cats. Like I just feel tingles and itches, and my eyes especially just get weepy.
My dad's dog rubbed against me the other day. Like he's got this little miniature pinscher, and like look where it rubbed against my arms, they broke out in hives. Like all over my forearms and like my upper arm, like where I like played with this dog, like started itching like fucking crazy and broke out with like gross hives, like chicken pox. So it's possible I'm allergic to a dog. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Did you get chicken pox when you were little? Or
yeah. When I was like 4 or 5.
That's about, I think I had when I was like 5 or 6. It sucked at the time. It was really not fun. I hated it.
I don't remember it super well. I remember the oatmeal baths and the calamine lotion, I guess.
Yeah, and all that time in baths and calamine lotion meant like you couldn't go play Legos or watch Pokemon. And that was what I remember disliking about it.
I was a He-Man fan.
He-Man was all right. It was a little before me.
It's before your time. I had Castle Grayskull, motherfucker. I thought it's a collector's item now. I had Castle Grayskull, had Skeletor, not She-Ra, whatever her fucking name was, the mistress.
It's interesting because He-Man's before your time because I watched that shit.
So yeah, it is before my time, but for whatever reason, I think the movie came out in like the year I was born, and so we had it on VHS by the time I was like 4. So I was like 4-year-old me was watching it a lot, but the movie came out in '86. I'm almost positive, but it reached its pinnacle before the movie. Obviously, like '83, '84, the cartoon was super popular. And I think the toys probably came out in 82 as well, because they came up with a toy before the show. It's interesting little thing about the way Mattel came up with that whole fucking marketing strategy of inventing these characters and then inventing this show to go along with their characters to help sell more toys. That's why there are so many characters in He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. That's why there's like 30 Masters of the fucking universe and He-Man.
They were just shotgunning it, seeing like, all right, we're throwing all these. Oh, who's really popular? Believe it or not, the turtle guy with the trident selling like hotcakes. We're throwing him in next season. Like, basically, just reverse engineering an entire show, which you can do if it's for kids. Easy.
Well, the toys. It was all about selling the toys because, like, I don't know what the CPM on a Saturday morning cartoon show is, but I bet it pales in fucking comparison to the overhead on a He-Man doll.
Yeah, I bet you're right. I'm 100% sure you're right, and that's interesting. I don't see it as bad though, right? Like, I don't
see it as bad.
Oh, okay. I think I misinterpreted and got a vibe.
No, I love the shit. I had the fucking sword.
That this whole thing was manipulating, and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like they made a show I really liked. I didn't have any of the toys, but No,
I was meaning like if you could only do that with kids. Like if they released Jon Snow figurines before Game of Thrones came out, no 20, 30, whatever something is going to be like, oh, I can imagine what this guy would do. I'm buying. Like, whereas with kids,
I have an adult friend, if he saw a witch's helmet of Agazar on sale, he would buy it in a heartbeat. Really? Or something close to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? Get the name right for me.
But I love the fucking cartoon. King of Angmar. Yeah. I loved my He-Man figurines. And when the movie came out, I liked not when it came out because I was an infant, but like when I was 4 years old, I fucking loved that movie. And it is a garbage movie. Dolph Lundgren and Courtney Cox, very young Courtney Cox. Yep, it is interesting little film. And the guy who plays The guy who plays fucking Skeletor is like a renowned Shakespearean fucking trained, like
Really?
excellent actor. And they've got him in a Skeletor mask, and he's doing his damnedest to like act through this awful Skeletor mask. He's great. But
did your action figure battles have any sort of consistency where you'd be like, all right, it's He-Man universe today, Ninja Turtles, you're on the sidelines? Or would you just, everything was in there? Because that's what I like to do. It'd be like, what are we doing today? 7-8-year-old Taylor, well, today the Street Sharks are taking on the Batman universe. And it'd be like, I still remember my favorites. It would always come down to the same ones. I didn't like Robin, so he would get smashed by one of the sharks. And then it would always come down to Bane in his cool like green mask and all the wires going back there, who I didn't even know his history. I just saw him in the store and I'm like, that guy's fucking sick. And I got him, and it would be him versus the final Street Shark, who I believe had some sort of punching action.
Yeah, he had the click, 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 click.
Yep. And he almost always won. I like that guy.
Yeah, Street Sharks. That was a good cartoon. It made no sense, from a physics standpoint, because they literally were teenagers mutated into half shark people who swam beneath the concrete and asphalt of their city fighting crime.
Billions of dollars in transportation damage with every solved burglary.
Star Blazers. Did you guys watch? I see. I'm too old. There was a show called Star Blazers, and they went around in a giant spaceship, but it looked like an oil tanker, if I recall correctly. The bottom of it was even painted red at the supposed water line as this thing flew around. I hope I have this right.
Holy shit, right. You can watch it on YouTube. All of
84.
And the fun thing about this is it had oh my God, I'm nailing this description.
Oh my God, these 20-minute episodes are all here on YouTube.
Dude, it had a giant gun that shot straight out the front. And
I'm seeing it.
All of the problems were eventually solved at the end of every episode by shooting that gun.
Dude, they're destroying it. This looks like Battlestar Galactica.
They would just take the long way to eventually firing that gun episode after episode and take care of the bad guy.
I was big into Teenage Mutant. Oh, to get back to your question, Taylor, I had the Kyle universe, which included every action figure that I owned. So G.I. Joe was there with all the little green putty men, those army men that had like the flat base that they're on, the flamethrower guy and the rifleman and all that shit. They'd be in the mix. The Ninja Turtles would be there in their pizza van that shot pizzas. I'd have the full fucking cast of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. He-Man would be on one side fighting against Skeletor on the other. And then I would sort of mix and match who joined up with He-Man versus who joined up with Skeletor. And then I would
politics. Yeah.
I would fight it out on the floor. Yeah. We would see who would win.
Man, to go back, that was so much fun. Just fucking around for hours with those toys on the ground. It was just great.
I spent most of my time back then smashing lizards with bricks.
See, I was a simpler man. A simpler boy.
I don't need to go back to that. I got all the cats I can deal with.
That's why you don't have any lizards. You need some dogs. Take care of the cats. Some spider monkeys. Maybe cheetahs. We're working our way up.
Someday.
Is one Georgia man responsible for destroying the entire Southeast? We'll find out. The monkey epidemic continues to take credit. Just shows Atlanta, and there's just lemur upon lemur swinging from ruined and fucking telephone poles and shit.
Jesus, Taylor, no racism. Yeah, to be a child again and have your. I had a great childhood. I was just always riding around on ATVs and getting up to hijinks and starting fires and shooting things. It's a good time.
Yeah, I was too close to other people to do all that unless I was on my grandparents' farm. And so all my fire starting, shooting, ATV riding, it was mostly there. Fucking around with animals. Grandma's house was fucking sick as a little kid. I would get like depressed when I knew my parents were coming to pick me up. I'd be like, God, I don't want to go home. I have to, I can't lie about the snacks I've eaten. my parents are a little more strict on the bullying here and the borrowing of my brother's toys. It's so.
I think your grandparents might have chosen you as their favorite. I'm getting that vibe, and I think it might still exist today. Does anyone else see that?
I'll fire that one past them at Thanksgiving and see the response.
Oh, Taylor, no, we like you and your brothers. What's their names? Just all the same.
Just as much. Oh, they couldn't make it this time? I didn't even notice. Yeah,
can't tell because they ate the same amount.
I did notice there was a few extra hams left over this time.
Yeah. Now, did you bring the flatbed meat truck I requested? No, I'm sending you back home with a half cow. Your brother's not here, so we're not even salt in half. We're sending the whole thing back.
We slaughtered a steer.
It wouldn't surprise. She told me to buy this just this ludicrously big freezer for my garage, being like, now you never know when things are going to go down. You want to have lots of meat just in case. And I'm like, that's very true. That's very true. I don't know if I need a restaurant size walk-in one.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I still want to be able to park my car in there ideally. But yeah, she plays for keeps.
Yeah, we always had a deep freeze full of meat growing up, because we hunted and we had a couple instances where cows went insane and had to be shot, and then so we had them slaughtered, and so we just had hundreds and hundreds of pounds of meat in the deep freeze downstairs, like always. And then one night, I don't know what happened. Maybe lightning struck it, or it just quit working. But how are you going to know, right? They run really quiet. It's not like you're going to be. No, I don't hear that familiar hum today. It's down in the basement as well. So I don't know how much time went by before we noticed that the meat freeze, with, not exaggerating, 200 pounds of meat had been room temperature for an unknown period of time. But we opened it and looked inside, it was I don't know if you've ever seen fucking Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Or, when they show you those flashy images of what hell really is, that's what was inside our deep freeze. It was so god awful. We pushed it toward the door and put forks on a tractor and just slid them under it and duct taped the lid down so it couldn't budge, and just took it away and dumped it in the field. And just left it there, on a lonely part of the property. And my brother-in-law came by one day, and we were all up at Dad's house, and he was like, "What's that way over there?" And Dad's like, "Oh, that's the deep freeze." "Oh, did it break? Why is it out there?" And no, well, we think it broke, but all the meat in it rotted, and it was so awful that we couldn't bear to be around it. He's like, "Can I have it?" And he went out there and fucking got that thing, cleaned it with a hose, and fucking got it going again. And I guess it's still at his house.
Huh. Good for him. Industrious. He used every part.
He did use every part.
Very cool. PKA N 310. Very cool.